Welcome back to Spotlight. I'm here with my good brother, the Deputy Chief Conservation and Fisheries Officer, Marvin Hastings. Good to see you.
Hi, good night. How are you doing?
Hey, good. Cool, cool.
Nice to be here.
Yeah, man. It's good to see you. Well, the seaweed, I've been hearing a lot of chat about the seaweed, Sargassum seaweed. It's interesting when you read comments online about the seaweed. Some people say it's biblical time now. Mm-hmm. It's Revelation time. It's seaweed is one of them plagues come from from God, and you know it's a result of our behavior as human beings on earth and how we treat the environment and a whole host of things. And so the apocalypse is upon us. Yeah. But tell us, shed a little light on Sargassum seaweed. We hear about the Sargasso Sea, mm-hmm. and now we're beginning to hear that there's some other places that it originates from. So tell us a little bit about where it comes from and how it develops.
Well, let me say that we've always been having Sargassum come to the Caribbean, and especially in the BVI. Mm-hmm. It's just that in recent years we're getting higher amounts of this Sargassum. You mentioned the Sargasso Sea before. Mm-hmm. For those of you who don't know, the Sargasso Sea is, I guess, in and around Bermuda, and it's been as old as, Christopher Columbus described the Sargasso Sea when he came across the Atlantic, because it's probably almost just about the size of the size of America. It's that big, so you can't cross the Atlantic without we're not going through the Sargasso Sea.
Oh, okay.
And most of the Sargassum in the Sargasso Sea actually originates in the Gulf of Mexico. That's where it actually originates, because with the main influence being, I guess, the Mississippi River flowing into the warm Gulf of Mexico. It's a perfect breeding ground for the Sargassum, and as the current rises and goes around I guess that current and goes around the loop around Florida and goes up off of the North American coast off the Bermuda, that's where it gathers in the North Atlantic Gyre, and it becomes the Sargasso Sea. Okay. As you mentioned earlier, though, there's new theories around where all this Sargassum is coming from, and one theory is that it's actually coming from south of us, right after the Brazilian coast. There's a North Equatorial region there, recirculating region, and it's a perfect breeding ground, it appears, for this Sargassum. And like we were saying earlier, for the first time in history, West Africa, Sierra Leone, the west coast of Africa, actually got up to 8 feet of Sargassum in their beaches. They had never seen this thing before. Wow. So all of a sudden they want to know what the hell is this thing showing up on the beach, and it's piled up to 6 or 7 feet on the beaches, even to 8 feet.
Wow. So
what's happened is this recirculating current is going around that area there, and it's a perfect area. Most of us know that's where the hurricane comes across, off of Africa, it comes across. So it's a perfect breeding ground because the waters are warm. You have good upwelling off of the South American coast. You have good upwelling off of the African coast. You have perfect nutrients going into that region from the Amazon, from Brazil. You have the Orinoco River coming off of Venezuela. So you have more nutrients coming in there. So it makes it a perfect breeding ground for this plant, this seaweed, to actually grow and multiply. And when it breaks up now, that's why you're having countries like Trinidad and Tobago having Sargassum for the first time in a long time. Barbados, St. Lucia, Antigua.
It's a Sargassum invasion.
I guess you can say, I guess you can call it the invasion if that's what you want to say.
I can see why people are looking at it from a apocalyptic perspective. Why in such large quantities? It seems like all of a sudden, maybe it's been developing for years and we haven't noticed it.
And that's what I said, though. What happens is that because one of the theories is this: because it's there and it's circulating, it builds up, and all of a sudden, all you need is a difference in current, wind, and tide for it to come. The last major event we had was in 2011 throughout the Caribbean. So it's been the last 4 years, but we've been seeing it more frequently. So I think this is going to become the new norm. Because with warmer oceans that could be linked to climate change, we have humans putting more nutrients into the water, like I said earlier, and you have to remember that this seaweed is not sexually reproductive. It's asexually reproductive, meaning that if I break off a piece and I throw it out in the water and I throw it out, it can multiply. It doesn't need to go through the gametes and the eggs and multiply like that. It's a asexual reproduction. So it's quite easy, and given the right temperature and the right water and the right everything, it just multiplies.
Well, it's becoming more and more, and it seems to me like, if my recollection serves me right, we've seen it like twice this year.
Your recollection is right.
Right.
And what
It was earlier in the year, and then it seemed to have went away, and now it seems to be back again.
Exactly. That is true. But like I said though, you'd have noticed that early in the year we had, I actually saw it on Bruce Bay. I saw it King Garden Bay. I even saw it in Smuggler's Cove. Now we're getting it on the south. It all has to do with how the currents, the tides, and things shift. So next year we might not get hit at all. Or we might get hit even harder. All depends on how the currents and the winds and things go. Like I said, if you think we have it bad, I mean, Google sargassum in Trinidad. Google sargassum in Barbados. You'll see beaches with sargassum like 8 feet on their beaches, and they don't know what to do with it. Places like Mexico, they're getting so much. I was telling a friend the other day that Mexico had to stop cleaning up after I think employing 4,500 employees and spending well over $12 million. They had to say, you know what, we need to stop because it's not going to go away. They would clean one day, come back the next morning, the same thing is there.
Okay, what effects the seaweed having on us? I mean, how serious is it? Is it harmful? Is it hurting our fisheries? Is it hurting our beaches? What are the effects of the seaweed?
Well, you have pros and you have cons. So let me start with the benefits, the pros. You would have heard that fishermen are now reporting catching more fish. They're catching more tuna. They're catching more mahi-mahis now. You had a certain fisherman that went out and he caught, I think, well over 200 mahi-mahis in one day. Because this sargassum is like a habitat for juvenile fish once it's out in the open ocean. Because what people don't see, they see the surface. But that sargassum is actually, in certain places, 3 to 5 feet deep. So it provides a perfect habitat and shelter for, I think they say, over 120 marine species of fish and invertebrates. So you have the small little fish that live within there. So what happens?
So it protects the fish from the bigger fish.
Exactly. But what happens is the bigger fish, like that size, they come there to feed. And then you have the bigger fish, like the tunas and the mahi-mahis, they come to feed on those other fish. So it becomes this nursery, this habitat. And the fishermen throughout the world know this. So what they do, even here in the BVI, what they do, they go and they troll in the fish around the sargassum and they increase their size of fish. So with the increase in sargassum, you're gonna definitely see increase in the fish that we catch. Another importance is that it's perfect for beach sand dune creation once it reaches to our shores. Most countries are now saying the best thing to do with the sargassum is to leave it. Spread it out on the beach, let it dry, and it's perfect to help beach erosion. It helps solidify the sand, and it's perfect for sand dune creation. Now let me list some of the pros now. The pros is obviously when you go on the beach, you're seeing this sargassum all over the beach.
You mean the cons?
Yeah, the cons.
Yes.
You're seeing this sargassum all over the beach. And the problem is that after it begins to pile up, it's not allowing itself to dry. So it begins to decompose. And when it decomposes, like you would imagine,
that's when you get the smell.
You get that smell. It breaks down into hydrogen sulfide, and you get that rotten egg smell. And that can be a pro. And you can see we had some dead fish up in Handsome Bay. The problem with that is that when it piles up, right, and you're getting this, the seaweed is breaking down into hydrogen sulfide. Then you have the bacteria breaking it down. It's using up all the oxygen. So all of a sudden the water becomes anoxic. So all of a sudden anything within and below that seaweed can't breathe because it's using up all the oxygen to decompose. And all of a sudden you have these dead fish. And that's what's happening.
Okay, so the ham is limited, the cons is limited to the smell and perhaps some oxygen deprivation of smaller species
of reef fish.
And
then they're gonna die. You're definitely gonna have some die off in certain areas, but it's only gonna have those reef kills, like I said, where you have massive amount of seaweed coming in and building up, and it blocks the sunlight, it decomposes, less oxygen production. You're getting dead fish.
Okay. Now, we have a situation, and I think we had a situation around Little Licks Bay, and a situation around the dolphin habitat down by Prospect, where the seaweed was causing some challenges for our guests, our visitors.
Exactly.
I was immediately concerned about the economic harm that the sargassum could do to the territory. Is that something that Conservation and Fisheries or the ministries are considering?
We are considering, but you have to realize is that, like I said earlier, it's not only a BVI and Tortola problem, a Virgin Island problem. It's a Caribbean-wide problem. I think it was the, if you correct me wrong, I think it was the Prime Minister of Barbados or St. Lucia that said that if you're going to try to clean up the sargassum in the Caribbean, it would cost some $120 million to try to clean it up. We don't have that. We're not going to do that. So one of the things that we're trying to do is we're trying to sensitize the public and the tourists about the sargassum seaweed. We're letting people know that it is a natural thing. We're trying to educate the people, let them know that you can do stuff like even a sargassum hunt. Because even when it comes in and it's fresh, if you take your son or your daughter, or the schools can take out the kids and pick up some fresh sargassum, put it in a bathing pan or a white pan or bucket, and you sift through it, you know what you're going to find? You're going to find juvenile lobsters. You're going to find crabs. You might even find the famous sargassum fish, which is a frog fish. So you have a floating science lab right there that you can teach and you can educate people. We're also telling people that if you collect it when it's fresh or even when it's beginning to decompose, Caribbean countries like Barbados and Trinidad are now turning a nuisance into profit. They're taking it, they're spreading it out, they're rinsing it with water, and they turn it into fertilizer. Some people turn it into compost, and they're selling it. So you're taking a negative effect and turning it into a profitable one.
Yeah. I saw a documentary on a gentleman in Barbados who had a process he developed himself where he was drying the seaweed, desalting it, and turning it into a fertilizer, packaging it, and it was making big sales. Matter of fact, he was selling it to the extent that he needed additional employees, he needed more machinery to process it, to make it more efficient. And I was thinking that that's something that we could do here as well.
I am so surprised that no one in the BVI is yet, like, the light bulb hasn't come on in their head as yet to actually do it. What we are doing though, you mentioned dolphin discovery. Any seaweed that we're collecting, we're taking up to agriculture. They're spreading it out. When it rains or when they have extra water, it's being washed out, and they're giving it to the farmers. So that's one of the things that we're doing. And next weekend, which is a holiday weekend, we have the 17th, 18th, and 19th. We're actually planning to have this territory-wide cleanup. So we're asking all community groups and stuff to come together. And
we got to take a break.
All right.
So when we come back, we're going to talk about the community-wide cleanup. We'll be right back with more Sargassum and Spotlight right after this from our sponsors.
Spotlight is brought to you by Tortola Concrete Limited, the National Bank of the Virgin Islands, and CCT Global Communications.
Welcome back to Spotlight. I'm here with Deputy Chief Conservation Officer, Mr. Mervyn Hastings, and we are talking about the sargassum seaweed that is seen washing up on the shores that the whole world seems to be talking about. We were talking about the upcoming territory-wide cleanup.
yes,
What's up with that?
we're hoping to have it, like I said, on the 17th, the 18th, and with Monday being the 19th, a holiday.
That's this month.
This weekend and into Monday coming. We're asking everyone to come out and clean up.
This weekend is a holiday weekend?
You didn't know that? Yes, it's a long weekend coming up. I believe it's St. Ursula's Day. I would have to check, but I think that's what's coming up. But basically what we're asking is that this is not only a government problem. As you can see, it's affecting everywhere in the BVI. It's a community problem. It's affecting the hotels. It's affecting the restaurants. It's affecting the bar owners. It's affecting the people who go to the beach.
Yes.
So we're asking everyone.
It's affecting our visitors.
Exactly.
It's going to affect our tourism product.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we're asking everyone to come
problem.
out. Yeah, we're asking everyone to come out and clean. whether you're Rotary or Road Track, whether you're not you're the NDP youths. I'm calling those groups because those are the groups who so far
Right.
have made contact with us and signed up, and they're gonna come out. I mean, I had the I guess the Seventh-day Adventist youth group with that passage. They told me they're gonna bring out. He's trying to bring out 150 of his congregation and youths to help clean up on Sunday morning 5 a.m. I've had Rotary give interest. Rotaract have given some interest without any initiation. I think there's a group from East End. I think that the Sky Dancers.
Yes.
They went out without even contacting us by themselves because they went and they started cleaning up just like that. And we love to see that. They didn't wait to ask for any bags or ask for this. They just went out and they saw it was a problem and they started to clean. So that's what we're asking for. We're asking people to come out and get involved and help clean it up.
Okay. Is there a structure to the cleanup? Persons, to places to go specifically, locations to go to, equipment, containers?
We're asking
is there a structure?
We're asking everyone to bring your own rig. We have a few rigs that we're giving out. Through the kind donations of Clarence Thomas, Drake Straders, and Alfonso Warner, they've given us some equipment in donations of bags and rigs. But like I said, it's not a lot. If any of you business owners out there want to donate bags and rigs for us on that day, that's what we're asking. That's what we're asking for. We're giving out bags because you need to put the seaweed someplace. So we're collecting it and we're putting it in bags and we're taking everything to agriculture, because like I said earlier, agriculture is spreading it out, they're drawing it out, and they're giving it to the farmers. And you would think that it's too much seaweed to take to agriculture, but believe it or not, if you get this room full of the Sargassum seaweed, by the time it's spread and it's dried, you might only have
the amount.
You might not even have the amount. Way less. You might have 1/4 the amount. Okay. So you have to realize that it shrinks. It shrinks a lot when it dries, and it goes through that process.
Okay. So it seems to me like there needs to some logistics need to be discussed because okay. So some people. So this starts on what day?
It starts on Saturday.
On Saturday. This Saturday that's coming.
This Saturday that's coming.
Okay.
We have certain groups that are cleaning Brandy Wine Bay.
Okay. So the groups that are interested and want to clean up, they contact you.
They contact us, the Conservation and Fisheries Department.
And that number is what?
That's 468-2700.
468-2700. You could just call the government and ask.
And ask for Conservation and Fisheries,
yeah.
and they'll switch you to us.
And then you will instruct them. What you do? You take their name.
We take their name. We get the name of the group. We ask them how many of them are going to be involved, and a lot of them are asking, "Where's a good place for us to do?" And what we did, my guys have gone around the island.
So you've identified locations.
Yes, we've gone around the entire BVI. Well, let me say Tortola for now, and Virgin Gorda. We've driven around. We've taken pictures. We've cataloged all the areas in the BVI that has
the pile up.
The pile up, and that's more prone to, I guess, being a nuisance to
the odors you get into to start and
exactly. Yes. So those are the areas that we've identified and targeted.
Okay. So you'll give persons that call, you'll give them a location.
We'll give them a location. We'll give out some bags. We don't have a lot of bags left because, like I said,
so they should bring some bags.
They can bring some. Definitely bring a rig, because a rig is not all small rig. You need some like a pitchfork and rigs.
Yeah, that's
what you need. Okay. And we're also giving some people some guidance on how to collect the sargassum. We want people going digging with shovel and collecting more sand than seaweed.
So you want to rake it off the top.
Exactly. You want to rake it off the top, and anything from probably 2 or 3 inches and down, you can leave. It's going to naturally dry out and integrate into the sand and actually help that beach
prevent erosion.
Exactly.
Okay. So they rake it off the top, and they put it in bags, and they just tie the bags and leave it on the beach.
Well, they leave it on the beach, and we're asking some of them if you have a truck. Obviously, agriculture, we've already made contact with agriculture. They're going to be taking the bags. We're going to be out there as well. If you don't have a truck, and we can take it to agriculture. We'll collect the bags, and we'll take them to agriculture.
And persons with truck could come and help.
Persons with truck can come and help.
And you will provide some trucks. Agriculture is going to provide some trucks.
We will provide. I guess once you pile up the bags, we will provide coming and collecting those bags off those
locations.
Exactly.
You've given the people to go and clean up.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. So person need to call and get their location.
Exactly.
Or
they can choose a location. If they say you know what, we noticed that Cox Heat it's smelling a lot, and we saw a lot coming in there. We want to do that. If they see, you know what, right, this is by Prospect Creek after they pass the dolphin discovery, notice there's a lot of seaweed there. We want to do that.
And you would add that location to your list.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we will know not to send every group right there in that location.
Can you remember any the locations off the top of your head? Some of the locations off the top of your head.
I mentioned one, Cock Seat.
Right.
We have definitely Brandywine Bay.
Yes.
We have 150 from the Seventh-day Adventist Church and their youth group. They have chosen to do Brandywine Bay, and hopefully 150 of them are going to be out there. So I want to be there with them to see how them out there cleaning. So we will be there. We had a group that cleaned Cock Seat this weekend too, and we're gonna go back because more is coming in. Trellis Bay is another area that is keep coming in all the time. So that's a perfect area to do Trellis Bay as well.
Okay. So that's this weekend.
That's this weekend. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
And they need to call you, call the Conservation Fisheries before Friday.
Before Friday.
So that they could get their location.
They can get the location. They can get some bags if they need some bags. We'll be giving out some bags. Not a lot. We don't, like I said, we didn't get a lot of bags, but like I said, I'm pruning all the businesses. If you guys want to come and donate bags, you know, there's lots of companies that sell bags there. Like I said, I definitely have to pick up. Like I said, I have to pick up Drake's and I have to pick up Clarence Thomas. We gave them a call, and within an hour or two, they said, "Come and collect the bags." No questions asked. It was that easy.
Okay. That's great. That's the
kind of community involvement that we want to have.
That's the kind of good corporate citizenship that we want.
Exactly.
We hope to expect.
And I have to say again, Alfonso Warner.
Yes.
You know, we called him up and he said, you know what, come, we'll give you a check. He ordered out to a business that sell bags, and we got some bags and some equipment.
Yeah, that's great. And the easiest number to remember is actually the government's number,
which is 468-3701, and then you can ask for Conservation Fisheries. That's the easiest number to yes, that's a switchboard.
Yes. Okay, so that's great. And you'll be doing this, and this is going through on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday.
That's the community wide. But like I said, we've had other groups that gone out last weekend on their own, and it's not going to be that. It's gonna, like I said, this problem is not going to go away. It's going to keep coming. So
we need to continue.
We need to continue doing it all the time
process.
Because the problem is, like I said, the problem is that when it begins to pile up, that's when you get the decomposing. Okay. If it's allowed to come in and wash and spread out, it dries quickly and you don't get that smell.
Okay. Now there's a video that's been circulating on Facebook with a company in Guadeloupe. They have a badge fitted with the equipment.
Yeah,
they have a badge.
I've seen that.
They have a badge fitted with the equipment, and I thought it was a good idea. And I thought that it would be good to intercept the seaweed in the ocean, collect it before it is dried, and bring it to a particular area for it to dry, and the odor would stay in one area. What's your thoughts on that? Is that something that's as feasible, that's doable, that make any sense at all? I'm wondering if they are doing it, what they're thinking, as opposed to what we are thinking, in managing the seaweed.
Economically, I don't think it's a good idea on either side. On the fishery side, I'm going to say that earlier I said it's a habitat to over 120 species of fish and invertebrates. And when I say invertebrates, I mean lobster. The BVI is we're having a lobster fest coming up very soon in November.
Yes, we eat a lot of lobster.
We eat a lot of lobster. It's a nursery. So if you tackle this thing,
we eat a lot of mahi-mahi.
Yes, we eat a lot of mahi-mahi. We eat tuna.
And a lot of tuna.
So if you tackle this thing at sea.
And a lot of kingfish.
Exactly.
Yes.
So tackling this thing at sea now, what you're doing, yes, you're taking away the smell that's coming up on the beaches and the bays and the ports. But at the same time too, you're killing the juvenile and the habitat for all these fish.
Yeah.
So we
have to weigh the difference.
Exactly, and we don't think it's worth it for us to go out at sea, spend the money economically that way, and actually affect the fishing industry.
Especially since we want to have a third economic pillar.
Exactly. There you go.
Yeah. And that's I could see the rationale in that. You talk about fishing, and we're gonna have a short version of Spotlight tonight. We're going to end at 9 because we started getting everything. We started getting in all the things I think that we wanted to talk about. Unless you had something else that you want to talk about. But I want to go a little bit to the fishing industry, as you mentioned, the breeding ground of sargassum in regards to pelagic fish in particular.
Exactly.
And how our fishing industry is beginning to develop. And I attended the press conference that the minister had a couple of days back. And I'm very excited about the fishing. I mean, I've been excited about the fishing industry from time the minister spoke about it in the House of Assembly a couple of years ago. I think he laid out his plan to develop the fishing industry in the BVI as a third economic pillar, and it seems to have come a considerable way.
It has come a far way. You're actually getting fishermen, like I said. Right now, we're catching more fish, and when I say more fish, I mean more high quality fish. And by saying high quality fish, not to say that the fish is not high quality. What we're saying though is that you've seen an increase. If you go to the fishing company right now, you can buy any amount of mahi-mahi that you want, because we've had an increase in of the catches in the mahi-mahi, and there's a direct correlation with
the mahi-mahi in the sargassum.
And the sargassum. Not only that too though, you're actually having fishermen now that are targeting more of those fish. You have fishermen that are targeting yellowfin tuna, they're targeting kingfish, they're targeting the mahi-mahis. So we're getting the fishing company with those fish. And as you know, a big thing that the minister did, and he got a lot of flack for it, but I'm happy that he did it, is that he banned the import of all fish to the BVI Fishing Company. He said that the BVI, if you're going to buy fish at the BVI Fishing Company, it's going to be local, it's going to be fresh, and it's going to be supplied by the fishermen of the BVI.
Well, I went to the fishing complex 2 days ago, I think, and bought some yellowtail. And there's a lot of fish.
They have a lot of fish.
There's a lot of fish there.
And it's a good problem to have.
It's a lot of fish there.
And don't forget, they've also increased the capacity of the fishing company, where they've added new freezers. They have a capacity now to flash freeze. They have the capacity now to vacuum seal your fish. So if you go in now, you tell them, you know what, fillet this mahi-mahi for me. Keep a couple in a bag, but I want the rest of it to be vacuum sealed, so I can put up that fish now for extra 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. So when you cut the bag from the vacuum seal, it's fresh. They actually do that. That's a service that's being provided at the BVI Fishing Complex right now.
And I think several 100,000 pounds of fish now is being caught on a regular basis, and we well on the way to developing that third economic pillar. One of the things that has been to me very helpful, and I've thought about it a lot in a long time, was being able to pay the fishermen as, you know, to me, the perfect situation would be a fisherman come in, dump his catch on the scale, get it weighed, and the person in the fishing complex write him a check right on the spot.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, I would go fishing.
We haven't gotten to that as yet. The minister said in his press conference that one of the first things he wanted to do, he wanted to speed up that process, and he has speeded up the process. We haven't gotten to the point yet. Well, you know how the entire system is. I don't think anywhere within the government service you can go and you can buy something and get paid on the spot.
But like, within a week time is a hell of a deal.
It's a major improvement, because that was one of the biggest hindrance that you had at the BVI Fishing Complex.
Because now the fishermen can actually plan.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you know that you're going to get paid within a week, and every week when you go out fish, every week you come in and you dump your fish, you're going to get paid. You could now get a loan. You could plan to build your house. You could plan to educate your children. You could plan around
that exactly.
That it's really becoming an industry.
Yeah. And we're hoping that along the younger generation are seeing that fishing is actually very profitable. Yeah. Fishing is actually a viable business, and we're lucky that our economic fishing zone extends to 200 nautical miles. So you have to understand.
And we have not begun to touch that.
We have not even begun to touch our 200 nautical miles of our economic fishing zone.
Yeah.
So imagine when we can get bigger boats like trawlers and have the fishermen go out and spend a week to 2 weeks and 3 weeks at sea to bring in the swordfish, to bring in those kind of marketable fish. in this country.
Well, and I think it's important to say as well, in many countries, there are a lot of people in the fishing business who are not fishermen.
There you go.
You know, and the way it's developing now, you could actually invest in the fishing industry by buying bigger boats for fishermen, invest with fishermen.
Exactly.
Let them do the fishing, you do the financing, you do the management, you do the marketing. And well, you don't even have to do much marketing, because if the government is buying all the fish you could bring in, you know, to me, it's a tremendous business opportunity. And I've been thinking about it seriously.
And you know, I mean, people,
Yeah.
believe it or not, the people in the BVI have been straying away from the meats and the chickens. And what are people eating now?
Fish.
And you want fresh fish.
And you want fresh
And you want
fish.
fish caught in the BVI.
Yes.
So it's a win-win.
You feel more comfortable with the fish garden.
Exactly.
It is a win-win situation, and it's something that I think we need to be selling the idea more and more. So just not only fishermen involved, but business people get involved.
Totally agree with you.
And partner with the fishermen to invest, to have bigger boats, different types of fishing, and so on.
Like I said, one of the missions of the minister when he came in, he said he was going to make fishing a third economic pillar in the BVI.
And we're on the way.
And I think we're on the way. And we're going to get there with it, you know?
Yes, that's great. My brother, it was great to have you. The conversation was really, really good. And I appreciate all the information you brought to us about the sargassum. We want to reiterate again, we want to restate that this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday's a holiday. They're doing a territory-wide cleanup.
Territory-wide cleanup.
Tortola and Virgin Gorda.
Tortola, Virgin. I mean, if you have a group from Anegada that wants to come.
Anegada, Jasonday.
Anywhere that has a group.
Anywhere there's sargassum.
Exactly. We'll
call Conservation and Fisheries before Friday.
Yes.
You can call the government offices, 468-3701, ask for Conservation and Fisheries.
They'll direct you to us.
And they could ask for you.
They can ask for me.
Or anyone whoever answers will have the
information. All my officers have the information, so any of my officers can assist them.
You could get a location where you can go to. You could probably get some help with some bass, get some help with some rigs. The trucks will be coming around, or you could bring, if you have a truck that you want to help to give logistical support, you can do that as well. All the information you need about this weekend cleanup, you can get that from the Conservation and Fisheries Department.
Yes.
And try to call before
Friday.
Because on Saturday everybody
before Friday 4:30.
Before Friday 4:30, because on Saturday everybody be out cleaning.
Exactly.
Brother Marvin Hastings, good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. Don't stay away so long. I know there's a lot to talk about.
Exactly.
And we want to keep fisheries fresh in the minds of the people, and make sure that we get them to understand all the opportunities that's about to come their way in terms of developing a third economic pillar in the fishing industry.
Yes.
Great to see you.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, our audience, for listening. Spotlight, of course, is seen Tuesdays at 8 p.m. here on JTV Channel 55 and rebroadcast Sunday afternoons at 2:30. Watch Spotlight on demand at jtvlive.net. Like our Facebook page. Please go to our Facebook page and like it. You can create a discussion about sargassum on the Facebook page. Make a suggestion for a topic that you want to have discussed, or guests that you'd like to see on the Spotlight. Next week, we're going to have members of the Youth and Sports Affairs going to be here. We're going to be talking about sports and the development of sports in the territory. I'm Adrianka, reminding you that when the Spotlight is on, you see the facts. Peace and blessings.
Spotlight is brought to you by the National Bank of the Virgin Islands and CCT Global Communications.